So another instance of when it changes for combat is when you encounter enemies in Pokemon.
See, this is funny because I actually have this music as my actual ringtone when people call me.
Oh, that's
like,
cool.
So yeah, if you want to talk about iconic, you get to that point where you can hear it, and every time I hear it, I remember Pokemon battles that I've had. I remember grabbing Mew for the first time in the original. Playing
Not
through all of
Mewtwo?
that. Not Mewtwo, Mew.
When was Mew first?
So
in the game?
you can actually find him in one of the caves, but you have to go and get the glitched rare candy first.
Oh.
So I went and did that, and then walked into this thing, and then Mew pops up, and he acts just like an Abra. So you have to catch him, or else he disappears.
Well, that's what the Pokemon acts like, just kind of naturally, right? Like in Pokemon Snap, you have to consistently throw apples at its head to keep it all stunned or whatever, right?
Oh, that's great. But yeah, that music just always evokes that memory. For me, because it's of fighting, getting stronger, seeing all of these new monsters. It's fantastic.
Yeah, so that's a lot of fun. And then the other time when it changes for combat is maybe before you've even initiated combat. Maybe just when you've been targeted by an enemy, like an Arc. Let's go ahead and roll that clip, because as soon as you get within the aggro vicinity of an aggressive aggressive dino, it will just go for you. You just have to be near it. You don't have to. I mean, you don't always have to initiate combat. The music will change when an aggressive dino has targeted you.
So now, is it generally in that? Is it any dino, or is it going to be more predators? So are you the prey, and that's why it's coming after you?
No, anytime you're in combat in Arc, this is the music that plays. So if I take my pike and I go stab a Triceratops, this music will play. It's just the combat music. But like I said, you don't even have to go and stab the dinosaur. If it's aggressive, it will just come for you.
Combat has started. Yeah. Oh crap! I got to defend.
And sometimes you'll be like in your base and working on something, and you'll hear that music. What the heck? What's going on? What's going on? And there's like a Dillo attacking your wall, or there's like something is eating one of your dodos or something like that, right? But you know that conflict is happening somewhere. And like I said, it's got that internal consistency.
It kind of primes you to saying something's up. I got to be ready to fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, another event that we have in this is to signify important events or things that you want to reinforce. And immediately when we were talking about this, my thoughts instantly went to The Legend of Zelda and every time you open a chest.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and roll that example. I think that we've actually, this is a composite that we've got of all of them, right? How they've changed over time. But the idea is still the same. You have that build up, and then all of a sudden,
yeah, and the build up and the reveal, right? Like, what do I get? What do I get? What do I get?
Exactly. Oh! I think it's iconic music. Having a Legend of Zelda game without having this,
it would be weird.
Would be weird because you would lose that consistency throughout the games.
Yeah, through all of their titles.
Yeah, the entire franchise that they've had so far.
Really, really cool.
Whenever you open up a chest, this is the kind of stuff that pops out.
Yeah, really fun.
And I think that consistency is important because we tie memories and we tie experiences and things to sounds.
Yeah.
That's why they recommend learning how to sing things to memorize and things like that, or why like every song that you hear on the radio, or you can still remember all of the popular songs that you had when you were in high school, etc. Right?
Yeah, right.
Because we have this thing in our brain that marries experiences and things together
with sounds. Sure.
So having that consistent sound is really, really important for things like that.
And one of the instances that came to my mind, I'm having trouble speaking. I don't know what's going on. Blah 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 blah. Is victory in Final Fantasy, and
every time you win. Yeah.
Every time you win a battle, and there's so many battles.
Yes.
But that victory music is exactly that. Yes, I did it. Did it.
It's a celebration every time. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. and that is another, that's a good example of evoking or reinforcing the right emotion.
Right.
You won a battle, here's the victory music, right?
And that can be used for both positive reinforcement, like with the victory, or negative reinforcement. If you hear it, you hate it, like the death in GoldenEye. right? I can't tell you how many times I died to that game. I was just like,
Yeah.
are you
That
kidding me?
as the blood falls, I'm just
Right.
like, no,
It's
there's
just
no
like,
way.
no.
There's no way.
Where did that guy come from, and how did he shoot me?
Yeah.
These controls are so janky to begin with. Can't kill anything.
Yeah. See, just hearing the death music from GoldenEye is just sending me into a tizzy.
Yeah, it just gets you triggered.
Yeah, I'm getting flustered. So, another strong instance of music in video games is to give us immersion into the setting.
Yes.
We said to set the mood at the beginning, but of course, we were just having a laugh. We like to have fun here. So one thing that I really love is when it sets the emotion for the scene. But one thing that really stirred powerful emotions for me was, again, the first time that I beat Kingdom Hearts. You've just beat Riku, your best friend, who's been taken over by the darkness, and you've freed Kairi's heart. That's what this whole game has been about.
Right.
To find Riku and Kairi, then you find out that Kairi lost her heart. You have to get it back for her. And you get it back. You set her heart free, and all the princesses get their hearts back.
Right.
And it plays the simple and clean instrumental. And I'll admit it, I got no problem. I cry every time. It gets me right there.
Well, it's
every
the payoff
time.
for the build-up for the entire game, right?
And that Riku fight was so hard. On PlayStation 2, before you were able to skip the cutscenes, I would have his dialogue memorized, and I'd be like the mocking SpongeBob meme, just like, just fight me, Riku. You know, I was so sick of having to fight Riku 50 times.
Right.
And then you beat him, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's done. And you're just like, and I know I was just mentally exhausted from trying to concentrate so hard and like counter all his combos and stuff. And then you just get this like really sweet, crisp, flowing music, and it just, yeah, it really, really set the emotion of the setting for me in that instance. Mm-hmm.
Well, and yeah, I remember that scene too. It was a long, long time ago when I played that, but I remember just being like, man, this is awesome. And that payoff. Mm-hmm. Another time when I think that we kind of have that immersion is when you take a classic piece of music and are able to tie that to different places. So one of the thoughts that I had was with Super Mario World.
Yeah.
Okay? There is a music for when you're underground.
Yes.
That you always know that you were underground. Mm-hmm. You had when you were above ground.
Right.
You had when you were underwater.
Uh-huh.
And the thing is if you hear any one of those, you know exactly where you are.
Yeah, if you hear it outside of the game. You could go look it up on YouTube. You could have headphones in. You can see the swimming and like the stupid fish and like, you know.
And I think that that's one of those things. If you have a piece of music that is iconic enough, that is distinct enough within a game, and it gets to the point where you could listen to it and you know exactly where you are or what you're doing, that's the goal that you should have for any game
home
that
run.
you're making, right?
Home run.
Absolute home run, A++++.
I know, yeah, exactly. I know Donkey Kong Country did that too.
Right.
When you were in the mine carts, when you were under the water, when you were in the treetops swinging on the vines, you know what I mean? Like, you know exactly where you are. Home
if you can play all of these things together, stream them all together, and you can actually watch yourself in your mind running through the entire game, then you have just hit an absolute home run with that.
Yeah, right. And the next time that it gives us immersion to the setting is kind of a call to action, I think. Right? The music kind of swells, and it is motivating you to do something. And I think of in Ocarina of Time, when you go into Hyrule Fields for the first time. You've left the Kokiri village, and you have to go find the other stones and stop Ganondorf, and it plays the Hyrule Fields music, and it's like, all right, I'm ready for an adventure.
Right,
Let's do this. Let's get
everything
to it.
swells, it kind of fills you full of energy, and you're like, okay, all right, this is the beginning. This is that first step that we're
you
going
really
to take
feel like
on our
it's-
adventure.
yeah.
Let's go. Let's get them.
Yep, and I'm ready to go trot through a field, and I'm the last guy that wants to go run through a field, right? But like real life, I could listen to Hyrule Fields and just go for a nice little jog. Yeah, it'd be great.
That's
it'd be
fantastic.
perfect.
Oh, that's funny. Another time when we want to use music in this, I think, is when things need to be kicked back a little bit. Where it may not be necessarily a high energy situation, but you can't just have no music in there. You need something.
Right.
But when you do, it needs to be a musical melody that can blend into the background that you can enjoy without thinking about it or really noticing it's there
and that's,
until you all of a sudden do.
And that's such a hard balance, but that's also the mark of a great piece of music in a video game.
Right.
Is if it's enough to kind of keep things flowing, to give you the setting, but that you never actually notice it. It's not intrusive.
Right.
It just kind of sets that groundwork and kind of helps you propel forward.
Yeah, and I think that the best example that I could think of for this is Minecraft, where I remember going and digging all the way down so that I can get diamond blocks and sitting there mining for hours. And then all of a sudden just being like, oh, I kind of like this music. Well, the music's been playing for hours,
It's
and I
been
haven't
on a
noticed
loop
it, right?
for the last 6.5 hours.
And then you just all of a sudden notice it. Oh, this is great.
Oh, this is nice.
But it seamlessly blends into the background. It's not too loud. It's not obnoxious when it's there. It doesn't kick you in the face and say, hey, I'm a melody. You need to enjoy what I'm doing here. I'm trying to bring you joy. All it does is kind of sits in the back. It's kind of doing its thing. And then your brain is just kind of taking that in.
Yeah.
But you have more important things to deal with. And then at some point, your brain kind of shuts off, at least mine did. Just Minecraft, right?
Autopilot.
And then
as
you
you're
don't have to think about what you're doing. And then you're like, oh, this is actually a really well done piece of music.
Very well done. Yeah.
Sneaks in there and super subtle.
Slam dunk. Yeah. So that's it for our 4 major points of the importance of music in video games. I've really enjoyed this topic. This has been a fun one. This is one that I'm really passionate about because this is a cornerstone of any great game, any great franchise.
Absolutely.
Is well executed music.
Right.
So next, we're going to have my good friend Jordan Holbrook come and join us, and we're going to interview him and talk to him about some of his experiences and kind of the stuff that he's doing. So we'll have links in the description if you want to go check out some of his projects and some of the stuff that he's done. So we'll get him, and we'll be right back.
Cool. Let's go find him.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're here with Jordan Holbrook. He's a good friend of mine, and he is a music composition for video games major. And he's had quite a journey. I think he would be the perfect person to come and help us wrap up the episode as we're talking about the importance of music in video games. So, Jordan, tell us a little bit of your adventure to where you are now. How did this interest sort of come from?
Well, I was always wanting to do something in music, for sure. But started out going to just performing arts schools. I've been doing music my entire life, piano, self-taught since I was 4 and all that good stuff. But I started out wanting to be a concert pianist, and then I started hating my life because of the endless practicing and everything like that. And so moved over to music composition eventually. One of my professors says, well, you like to write a lot, you like to make up your own stuff, why not give it a try? Took one writing class, and I was like, oh yeah, this is it.
Cool.
This is what I want to do. And then eventually morphed into audio engineering because I want to do just more than music. I want to be able to do, it's more lucrative, I think, to be able to do everything.
So sound effects.
Sound effects, mixing music, everything kind of like that. So
cool. Yeah, nice. Jordan is one of the best piano players, the best musicians that I know.
See,
in high school,
I am.
Yeah.
We'll have to have.
Well, if you guys do want to hear his stuff, we'll have links in the description, and we'll have a shout out to his SoundCloud. In just a couple minutes. So what kind of software? What kind of classes are you taking? What are you learning right now to make music for video games?
Well, I'm almost done with everything right now, but your software programs are basically everything. Because it just goes off of the kind of quality that you're looking for, that you'll give off. So I use a lot of things in Logic Pro is what I do. That's a pretty mainstream one that a lot of people use. Or there's Audacity. There's other ones out there, but I feel like for the most user friendly, it would be Logic Pro. It practically has everything that I really need to do on it. A lot of producers and stuff use that themselves too. So it's a recommended.
Oh, that's cool.
Program.
That's cool.
So it's industry standard.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's good. That's nice to know.
Yeah.
So how long would you say a typical project takes you, and what is a typical project kind of beginning to end, if that makes sense?
Yeah, days, man. It depends really on what it is that you're trying to accomplish, basically. So like, for example, right now I'm kind of playing around a lot with like menu music, because I feel like that's what's going to draw you in when you first, you get a game, you turn it on, everything. And that's just me. I don't know if a lot of other people are like that too, but like as soon as you press that start button and then like the title screen comes on and everything, and that music just like it's just like
talked earlier in the episode.
That's right.
Super important.
Yeah, no, we've talked about that, like Legend, like Ocarina of Time, Kingdom Hearts, especially.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I would just sit there on the menu screen and just listen to the music because I love it.
It sets the tone of like the game, I feel like, and it's just like it's like the sense of like wonderment and like what you're about to get into, and it's just, I think it's just a great beginning. So that's where I'm kind of at right now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So where can we check out your stuff? What is your SoundCloud?
My SoundCloud is just Jordan Holbrook.
Okay.
My first and last name at soundcloud.com.
Okay, cool. And what sort of snippets, like what do you have featured there?
I do a lot of piano covers of things, and so I'll put my piano music up there. I'm starting to upload a lot more of my actual projects though, because I'm closer to graduating, so I kind of want to start getting my stuff out there and everything like that too. So there's a lot of there'll be more of that kind of stuff up there too. But it's very it's instrumental kind of nice stuff.